What's up, guys? It's Simon. So today, I thought since I need some more video ideas on what to do for the rest of Yulemas, I decided to look at my notebook, which I don't think I actually have over here. But I have a notebook that I write whenever I get a video idea or someone asks me to do a video. I write it down in the book, and then I try to get to it whenever I can. But one that I've been mentioning about a lot is talking to you guys about how I work with the Black Madonna and who Nee is for me. And oh, actually, okay, so there's gonna be a follow-up video right after this. I might upload these back to back, so like this one will be first, and then there'll be the one I'm about to mention will be for the next day, and the next day one is going to be gender neutral pronouns. So you may hear me using them when I'm talking about near. Like that's one of them. Knee, near, near self, and niz. I believe that's all of them. Almost positive. You'll know for sure tomorrow when I upload the video. And I say tomorrow in reference to you guys because it's probably not going to be my tomorrow. It's just going to be tomorrow for you in reference to when you see this video. Hope that made sense. So without further ado, let's get started. So there is one thing I wanted to mention. There was a website. This came all from a essay that someone wrote, Matthew Fox to be exact, wrote about the return of the Black Madonna. It's a two-part title. It's very long too, but that's the beginning portion of it. And the original website where I got this from, where I took all my notes that I will be reading to you, is no longer available. However, I have found it on another website. I don't like the layout of it too much because it kind of looks like one of those cheesy forums almost that you can't really rely on. You know how a lot of forums is look kind of cheap and there's not much to it, so it kind of just seems kind of bland and blah, and that you can't always rely on it or whatever. Not necessarily judging a book by its cover, but hopefully you know what I mean. But the essay sounds exactly the same. I did check it. I will say, as a disclaimer, that was a while ago, so hopefully it's not gone. If it is, then you won't find the link below. I'm gonna try and look as soon as I make this today, today, not like when I'm uploading it, but today when I'm filming it. After I'm done, I'm gonna check and see if it's still available, so that way I can know if I can put it in the description box. So let's get started. So there's a few things that I believe comprise the universal consciousness, and that is darkness, dark energy, dark matter, all of that stuff, and love energy, and just spirit. Now, I still haven't done my spirit versus soul video, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to add that to the Yulemas. I'm definitely going to do it, but I don't know if it's going to be in with the Yulemas. But what I mean by spirit is raw energy, and that's all I'm going to say, because there is going to be another video that talks more about spirit versus soul. But those are the three things that I feel are the universal factors, unifying and universal factors of all life, be it tree, be it human, be it animal, you name it. So I really liked how, especially in this essay, when I was reading about the Black Madonna, I found all of those attributes in her. Now, a video I've done prior is embracing your past. This is also a way of me doing that. The Black Madonna has a lot of reference to French culture, and for those of you who don't know, I do have French-Canadian ancestry. Now, yes, French-Canadian is slightly different from French. However, my legal last name is more tied to France, even though the meaning of the name is tied to France, even though it comes from French Canada. Um, and I wasn't born in French Canada. That's not how I have that. It's in my ancestry through my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, which is my mom's dad. So I really liked how it embraced that part of my culture, um, and I also liked how it embraced my past. It kind of helped me to not harbor ill will or ill intentions or bitterness or disapproval or any of those negative attributes to the Abrahamic belief system. So, I'm going to go over to what I call the Black Madonna's 12 gifts. These are kind of like, I guess you could say, the aspects or attributes of the Black Madonna as expressed in the essay. And for those of you who don't know, I do have a small academic side to me, kind of like Kellyanne Maddox. So I love to read, and if I can find a good essay like this one, I love to read essays, and sometimes I don't even mind lectures. It's when you start getting into politics that I'm just going to drown you out. But anyway, so number one is the call to darkness. The darkness of love, embrace the dark, reject all racism. That's the first gift that she has to offer. That's what I was trying to say. These are the 12 gifts that she has to offer to those who work with her. And I really loved how it talked about rejecting racism, because that's a very profound thing in my family. I can't go very far back, but definitely as far back as my grandmother and my mom and we've all been very out and open about our beliefs. Nowadays, it's not so detrimental to your health, but it was back when my mom was growing up, and even more so when my grandmother was, and they both suffered some circumstances that I don't feel I have the right to share because they're not my stories, but I'm very honored to know that I've had family members that have stuck up in that way. So number two is call to cosmology, a sense of the whole of space and time, or, now this kind of puts a little more of a gender biasism on the Black Madonna, because it says the cosmic the cosmic mother, but to me, the Black Madonna is the universal force, so both masculine and feminine, so that's why I use those gender-neutral pronouns. So I don't necessarily identify with cosmic mother, but I do relate to cosmic deity. Number three is call to honor lower chakras. This takes you down to the first chakra, including our relationship to the whole. So you have the whole being the first chakra is your relationship to the whole being, your foundation and stuff of that nature. The second chakra being of sexuality, third of our anger and moral courage. So that's what I thought was really interesting, how it had chakra reference to that. I thought that was pretty cool. Number four is honor ecology and environmental concerns. So this basically means that she has the Mother Earth aspect, so this is kind of like that feminine part, cosmic mother or father. You could do it in that way, as in the sky god or sun god. So right there, kind of seeing some androgynous similarities and undertones. So the Black Madonna is equivalent to the Mother Earth, and that dark, I don't know how to pronounce this, Feund, Feund, I don't really know how to say that, and birthing. So all of those fertile soil references right there. She's also been referenced to the Queen of Nature. Now you could also go about this. This has been kind of very, I don't want to say sexist, but it's very sexually biased as being feminine. But you could essentially attribute this to the horned god as well, because of all that wildlife and of nature. If you want to, you can even go far as saying the green man and or the green woman that have that nature-esque aspect as well. So to go on with that one, it also talks about how she stands for justice for the oppressed and lower classes. That was very red flag in a positive sense, because for a lot of my life I have felt oppressed. Maybe sometime in the future I will share my story in regards to why I felt oppressed. You can probably get some ideas if you've seen my Vision Show video where I talked about my experience with masculinity. Further goes into conservationist, conserves beauty, health, and diversity. I don't quite know what that means. I guess I didn't take good notes with that one. Maybe it means, I'm gonna try and interpret now, and I'm definitely gonna reread that essay, especially in that section of it, to try and get a better understanding, because I don't remember what that meant. But I'm gonna think that maybe on conserving on the supplies that you use in order to obtain health and beauty, and expressing diversity, maybe in regards to your culture, that you don't take upon, take too much from the land that you, any more than you need, basically. I could be wrong, so feel free to read the essay on your own accord. Ecology is functional cosmology. That's a quote that was thrown in there by Thomas Berry. And a little note that you guys should probably know is that I love, absolutely love, like obsessed over word adages or quotes, depending on what you want to call them. I just feel that they obtain, or they gift one so much wisdom, and I just find them to be quite beautiful. I know that I have quite the potty mouth, and I have kind of that, maybe that skater boy, surfer dude, youngster, hipster vocabulary and intellect, and maybe even expression, but actually do have quite intellectual side that I like to dabble in every now and then, and I feel that gets quite nourished and quenched by the word adages that I find. I love them so much, especially the ones by Lao Tzu. Oh, they are my absolute favorite. What's that one about anger? I think he says a wise man is never angry. Something along those lines. I just think it's so beautiful. So now we go into the fifth gift, call to our depths, to living spiritually and radically on this planet, and not superficially and unthinkingly and and oblivious to the grace that has begotten us in so many ways. I'm going to reread that because I kind of stumbled a bit. The fifth gift is the call to our depths, to living spiritually and radically on this planet, and to not superficially and unthinkingly and oblivious to the grace that has begotten us in so many ways. She calls us to our depths of all wonder and delight, joy itself in a depth, experience we need to entertain. Oh, okay, excuse me, to re-entertain. I didn't space out the to and the re, so I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So she calls us to our depths of all wonder and delight, joy itself, and the experience, a deep experience that we need to re-entertain in the name of the Black Madonna. She calls us to our depths of pain, suffering, and shared grief, not to run from it or cover it up with a myriad of addictions, to our depths of creativity, and to entertain the images that are born in and through us, to our depths of transformation, social, economic, gender, racial, and eco-justice, and the struggle that must be maintained to carry on solidarity with the oppressed of any kind. Okay. It's a little bit chicken scratch here because I was writing really fast when I did this. But I can't believe I forgot this one. I'm so glad I'm doing this video and revisiting all these. This one actually got me like choked up and so touched. Um, it was just so profound to me to really read that part. I just loved it so much because it was beyond oppression. It was beyond um, racial discrimination or sexual orientation discrimination or any of that, or social gender discrimination. But it was about, you know, honoring your dark side. So many people um, in the world in general, and I don't know many of them, but I have met some that are really afraid to admit and accept and learn from their shadow. You know, that's why I think it's so important that we do enchantments, especially as witches, because we involve ourselves in so much energy and so much work and spirituality and magical workings, and you name it. Like, it's very important that we try to understand as much as we can, as often as we can, because with us being human beings, we have this limitation whilst living on the physical plane. So we need to try and, not overlook any leaf. Don't overlook any stone. Think outside the cauldron. And I just find that to be really awesome that that's what she refers to, that, it's okay to address your pain. It's okay to address your suffering and the times of grief. It's important that you feel that. It's important that you express that. It's important that you deal with that. Don't cover it up. Don't listen, especially with me being a male, and how we're supposed to not intertwine or engage or entertain our emotions because that's a symbol of weakness. I just thought that that was really awesome, because that's something that resonates with me. And I also loved how it talks about entertaining the images that are born in and through us. So basically all the ways that you see yourself and that you want to become, and all that creative energy on the multiple scales. And I love anything that talks about transformation, so I really loved how she, or rather how the writer, Matthew Fox, had that word of transformation in there, and how the struggle and everything. I really loved how it didn't beautify anything. It was beautiful in its honest, raw sense. And for those of you who may not be aware, I'm a very blunt, abrasive, and abrupt, honest person. My thing is, if you can't lay it all out on the table, then get the fuck away from my table. And so I really love how you can do that with this deity, and that's how I feel deity is, especially the unified sense that is a collective all, the all conscious, all of that, And so I just thought that one was like, oh, really, really profound. Now there's a little more. Um, so, okay. So it goes on to say, to the depths of our psyche, which are dark, depths of the earth which are dark, and depths of the sky that are covered in darkness. So again, it's teaching you truth on what darkness actually is. Darkness is a multitude of things. It's space, it's the universe. It's when the moon comes out. It's when the stars come out, or when we can see them, rather. It's, it can be malevolent thoughts of you wanting to harm someone or yourself. It can be just, unpleasant thoughts, like you think that you're a fat cow, or any of those mean things that you say to yourself. And just addressing them and, saying, I said that about myself, or I thought that about myself. And it's not ideal, it's not okay, but the Black Madonna accepts me regardless. The Black Madonna loves me regardless. And me, or she, or he, however you want to interpret it, will help you through it. And talks about the truth about how the earth is dark. And that's why I associate the color brown with earth and not green, because the earth is actually soil and roots, and greenery grows from that. You have the bark and the wood, which is also brown, and then the greenery of the leaves. So I really love that a lot. Again, it brings in that Earth Mother, or Green Man, Earth Father depiction, depending on what you believe in. So I thought that was really, really awesome. And then number 6, we're halfway there now. Call to our divinity, which is also our creativity. She calls us inside where we can co-create with divinity and feel the rush of divinity's holy breath slash spirit. And as you can see, I'm saying she and mother and all that because that's what was in the article, but as I said, I feel that the Black Madonna is androgynous, so I use gender-neutral pronouns, but because I'm not doing that yet, I'm reading it as I wrote it down from the essay. Hers is a call to create, a call to ignite, and ignite the imagination. And I really loved that because for a little while there I was reading a little bit about Satanism and Luciferianism, just to, not because I was interested in wanting to practice, but because I wanted to know what was out there. I wanted to know what other belief systems are out there, because for most of my life I only knew about Christianity. Between going to public schools, my mom kind of trying to follow the family tradition of Methodist Christianity, and then just being in private schools that pretty much only teach about that religion. I wasn't aware until in my early teens that, one, witchcraft was a real thing, let alone that there were other belief systems. So once I figured that out, I really wanted to start delving into that, and I really loved high school, how I started learning about world cultures, even though it was just snippets because we didn't have time to really delve into it. It was just nice to know that there isn't just one thing. And I really loved how this talks about divinity within, because that's something that I had to swipe a notification, so do forgive my finger. But one of the things I really resonated with the Satanism and or Luciferian path, I don't remember which is which. I didn't do much research on them, because this kind of started getting a little confusing, and I just wanted to stay within what I did resonate with, which was paganism and witchcraft. But what I could understand has that connection to the left-hand path and the inverted pentagram, which I want to throw out there is not evil. I might do a separate video on that sometime down the road. But the inverted pentagram is talking about the divinity within and seeing yourself as your own god or goddess, and really just honoring the divinity within. And that will be explained further in my spirit versus soul video. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll do that one, and then I'll do the inverted pentagram shortly after that, so that way they're relatively close together. But I really loved how it talked about that. Number 7, call to diversity. There is no imagination without diversity. Diversity is desire. Oh no, excuse me. Divinity is diverse. I don't know if I've said it on this channel, but I know I've said a lot in real life. Divinity is diversity, and I full-heartedly believe that. That's why I believe in a god and a goddess, and why I'll work with animal totems and spirit guides and mythical creatures and stuff like that, because I believe it's all part of divinity. Diverse in color, diverse in traditions, and diverse in gender. She welcomes the diversity of sexual preferences that are also part of creation, human and more than human. And I thought that was so beautiful. I really loved that a lot. Now, I may be rushing through this because we're already so far in, and I don't know how much space I have left on my phone. So I'm going to try and rush through this and not gab too much. But it's really hard not to, because I really loved this essay so much, and I really loved everything, all of the 12 gifts. Like, I just can't even... I don't think I could ever really articulate how much appreciation I have in finding this and learning about it. So number 8 is the call to grief. Right? Grief. Yeah. She weeps for all who are suffering and broken. She empathizes and embraces us like a tender mother, for compassion is her special gift to the world. She invites us into our grief and names it, and is there to learn. I guess it's referring to she being there to learn what suffering has to teach us. Unless the grieving heart is paid attention to, creativity and birthing cannot happen. Grieving is an emptying of is an emptying. It's making the womb open again for new birth to happen. Andrew Harvey, the Black Madonna, provides an immense force of protection. I don't know what that Andrew Harvey has to do with this, but provides an immense force of protection and an immense alchemical power of transformation through both grief and joy. If you notice that both are very profound emotional experiences, and an immense inspiration to compassionately serve and act in the world. It also talks about the Queen of Hell or the Queen of the Underworld. She holds both creative and destructive aspects within her. And why that was so profound with me, and also the dark aspects of it anyway, is because during the time I found her, I don't think I hadn't started my counseling yet. I've actually been in counseling for over a year, a year and a half I think it has been, about a year and a half, and I was still struggling with probably the most profound level of grief, and not to be, a bummer or anything like that, but I'm actually surprised that I'm still alive and that I didn't commit suicide or anything like that, because it was so suffocating, so difficult to bear with. But I really just loved how it was like I had a support system, and it meant a lot to me to have that, because I didn't feel I had anyone. Part of that was because because we moved here and I didn't know anyone, and part of that is because I also shut out Mum, and there wasn't really anyone else in my life, so it was very difficult for me to deal with that. So number 10 is call to our divinity, which is compassion. Another reason why I love that is because, to me, the only compassion that happens is through spirit, and the reason why is because compassion means to suffer with, and I do not believe in suffering with anyone, but I do believe, because the Great Spirit is a part of us, and spirit never experiences its own suffering. It experiences the physical suffering. That's just how I view it. And so it was nice to know that, not nice that someone's suffering with me, but someone is experiencing what I'm experiencing and is there to support me and knows exactly what I'm going through, and I don't have to explain it. If it chokes me up too much to explain, I don't have to, and it will still be understood. So, Okay, so I remember with 6, it said call to our divinity, which is also creativity. So this is kind of getting reintroduced on a different scale. That was talking about being a co-creator and how we work with divinity to make things happen in our life. And being a witch, I thought that was really awesome, because I don't worship any divinity. I honor deity in its multiple aspects in whatever I work with, and I work with them to manifest things in my life. I don't pray, I don't worship, but I will honor and I will work with divinity to have that unending spiritual source of energy. So this talks about the call to our divinity, which is compassion. The Black Madonna is the throne of compassion, the divine lap. And so basically it's, again, talking about that suffering with. So I didn't fully resonate this in regards to having compassion for others. I will have understanding and kindness and sympathy and empathy, but I won't suffer with anyone. I just don't feel that that's emotionally, spiritually, or mentally healthy. So 11 is call to a renaissance of culture, religion, and the city. That's kind of self-explanatory, so I didn't really write much in regards to that, but it's just that myriad of culture, which I really love. I love learning about different cultures and different belief systems and stuff like that. And I can't remember what it meant by the city, so again, check out the essay, because I don't have I wrote these a long time ago, so I don't remember all of what this means. Last one is call to reinvent education and art. So the Queen of Sciences is kind of tying into that Renaissance, that not New Age movement, but during the Renaissance, they were really experimenting with art, with Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, all of those people making the murals and stuff like that, and philosophy was coming about during that time. So this is what she's relating to. So I love how she had that academic side to her. So she's creative, she's emotional, she's dark, she's light, she's everything, or rather, Ni is everything. So Queen of Sciences, mistress of all the arts and sciences. She is about wisdom and, about wisdom, not just knowledge. Again, you're having that kind of what I could see as an undertone of esoteric or occult knowledge. So I thought that was really awesome. So I'm obviously going to link that website below. Hopefully I can find it. Like I said, today that I'm filming this, I'm going to check it to make sure it's there. If you don't see the link there, then you know that I wasn't able to find it. So, yeah, I hope that kind of shared some clarity on my beliefs and why I use that name as my term for the all or the universal deity or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, please check it out. If you read if the website link is there and you've read it, comment what you thought about it, or if it's not there, comment what you think about this video. I'm actually surprised that the website got cut off, but anyway, I'm rambling and ranting now, but I really loved sharing this with you guys. Thank you for watching. This was a really long video. I don't think much of it's going to get edited out either, but thank you for watching, as always. Thank you for the support, and all the likes, and all the comments, and all the subscribers. It's really nice to know that I'm not just aimlessly putting stuff up there. Not that I would stop putting up videos if no one was watching, but it's nice to know that it's not just a solo interest of mine, it's something that other people find interest as well, and beneficial. So I wanted to just give you all a really heartwarming hug of thank you and gratitude. So I'm gonna go now before I take up any more of your time, because it's already been half an hour, and I know with myself I struggle with watching half-hour or more videos, so I didn't plan on making this that long, but as you can tell, I really love talking about the Black Madonna, especially when I'm talking about that essay. So I'm gonna end it now. As always, thank you for watching, and remember, think outside the cauldron, never limit yourself, and blessed be my dear wits.